is my fault. Of course it's my fault. Because, like, everything's my fault, isn't it? Like, great, like... I hate myself. You know, I try, but, like, it's never enough. And I can't help people no matter how hard I try. And, like, I always end up making the situation worse, and, like, everything I do ends in disaster. Like, I've told you about it before, I think, but I've been stressing about going to Japan or going to Honduras, and my dad told me that I could do both and he would pay for both, and I'm, like, overjoyed, but also really worried because it's really expensive, because to Honduras it's $600. Back from Honduras is also $600. The price might even raise because the money goes up, you know? So it's probably going to be around $1,200, maybe more than that, just to go to Honduras. And then it's going to be even more money to go to Japan. And that's just the traveling expenses. That's not even going into the extent of, like, the expenses of, like, my dad buying me food and my grandma and I getting food and, like, souvenirs and shit. Like, it's so expensive to travel, like, to a different country, not to mention twice in 1 month. Like, that's just insane. Also, a lot of money, and I'm stressing out about that and being like, that's, like, I'm overjoyed because I can do both and, like, support both, but at the same time, I'm scared because, like, it's so much money, and I don't want that much money to be spent on me because, like, it's not worth it, but... And then... just... into that, like, my grandma just, like, she ends up, like, being like, I don't want to go to Japan anymore. And I was, like, happy, but then I was, like, this might be a phase, like, because she's been going back and forth between going to Japan and not wanting to go to Japan, so, like, I don't know. And then when she finally said, I'm not going to Japan, I was like, can you write it down so you remember? And she immediately got defensive with me and was shouting at me, like, you think I'm stupid? And then I was like, no, I don't, Grandma. Like, I love you. Like, please, like, just write it down so you remember. And then she was like, no, you think I'm stupid, I hear you. And it was just a slap in the face because I've been kind of disillusioned about how these videos are helping me. And now I get to rant about all my frustrations and, like, it helps me. And it's incredibly selfish because I rant about all of my frustrations, including my grandma. And I'm not exactly quiet about it because I don't exactly know how to be quiet, you know? And... she hears, and I was just kind of disillusioned that, like, oh, there's no way she can hear, she's older, like, she's always in the living room, like, my door is always closed, it's fine, she can't hear me. But this argument, like, made me realize she can hear me. She does hear me talk about her, and it really hurts her feelings. Not to mention how I ignore her, just like how my mom ignored me when I used to live with her. And, like, it's just, like, a slap in the face, because I'm just, like... everything I do hurts someone. And even as simple as living with someone, just being there hurts someone. And it's like a big fucking slap in the face. And I just kind of got a woke-up call and was like, yeah, you're a shitty person. Like, hi. My personality sucks. Like, my body sucks. Like, I have no brain / smarts or intelligence whatsoever. Like, nothing about me is good. And I'm also clumsy and just, like, find a way to physically break things as well as hurt people too. Like, it's just, like, everything I do ends in disaster. And, like, every relationship I've had or a relationship I'm having right now is being hurt I'm like toxic to everyone I'm around. And everything I'm around too, because I just fucking break shit because I trip over it. Because, like, great, like, clumsy shit happens, man. All the fucking time. And I would probably be doing this outside because, like, it's better because my grandma can't hear me, but my phone is dying and I have no choice because I have to talk about it. And it's just being even more guilt because, like, I'm being hypocritical talking about how I'm such a bitch and, like, I'm so selfish for doing these videos, but I'm continuing to do them in my room when I should do them outside where she can't hear me. And, like, but then at the same time, I'm like, I'm talking shit about her anyway, so, like, and I'm not really talking shit about her, it's just that, like, it's frustrating to have to deal with it, but then also deal with the guilt of, like, would this be considered gossiping? Since I'm not really, I guess it's considered gossiping, because I'm not telling her about it, but I'm talking to people about it, even if it is virtually. I don't know, and I hate gossiping, and this is gossiping, and, like, I don't know, I just hate myself so much. Like, and I, like, tried to be reasonable with her and, like, tried to, like, be like, Grandma, just please write it down, because, like, you need to write it down, because, like, I want you to write it down so that you remember. And it was I could lie and say that it's solely because I wanted it, because, like, I knew she would not be safe in Japan without me, but a lot of it is just that, like, I don't want to have to worry about her in Japan while I'm having fun with my dad, and, like, or I don't want to have to, like, be dragged to Japan with her and then be, like, longing to, like, go to my dad and, like, feel, or go to both and feel guilty about the expenses. And that was mainly my intention when I kept, like, asking her, like, please write it down, like, I need you to write it down so that you can remember better. And she just kept refusing and, like, screaming at me, saying that I was calling her stupid and, like, telling me over and over again that I'm not gonna write it down. And I was just kind of like, please, like, I just need you to write it down. And then when she told me that, like, I'm not gonna write it down because you told me I'm stupid, or you think that I hear you, and it just kind of slapped in the face, because, like, I do. Like, I don't, like, mean it in the moment, but I do say it, and she still hears it, and it's, like, not right. And it's also not right how I've been neglecting her so much, just because I don't have the patience to deal with her. And it's also not right that I was, like, pressuring her into writing something down when she can't do it. Like, she just is not ready to accept that she has dementia, and she's too stubborn and prideful, and I can't push her to do that against her will. And, like, it was wrong for me to, like, keep pushing it and, like, trying to force her to do it when she clearly wasn't going to want to do it. And, like, it was wrong of me to talk about her behind her back and, like, still having her hear me, and then it was wrong of me, like, to neglect her and, like, like, everything I do is complicated because of me. Like, no one is to blame for whatever happens that's bad. It's usually always me. Like, I'm always the one to blame. Like, shit happens and it's always me. Like, the only time it hasn't been me is just because of my mom, and then because of my half brother. But, like, that was just because they're both sick. Even then, I still could have done something sooner about it with my half brother, and, like, I could have also done something about it with my mom sooner too, but I just couldn't do it. And it's, like, my fault as well too, partly. Like, it's both of our faults, but, like, I feel like I'm always, like, any pain that happens in any kind of relationship that I have, I feel like I'm always the cause of it. And it just hurts, but I feel bad even saying that it hurts because I'm the one that's causing the pain. So, like, what right do I have to say that I'm in pain when I'm the one who's inflicting the pain on the other people. Like, it's just wrong. And this guilt. I think that's why I can't move forward, is because I'm just so wrapped up in my guilt and everything, which I didn't even realize was there until my grandma told me that, and I was just kind of like, well, shit. And maybe that's part of the reason why I have such big self-esteem issues too, is because of the guilt. Like, I just can't get over the fact that I hate myself, and I can't get over the guilt. And like, I don't want to be selfish, but like, I can't help it, and I end up hurting people every time I am selfish. And we're doing great. Like, hi. I'm an emotional mess. Like, all I have to say is because I don't have anything else. But these videos are not going to be in my room anymore. They're going to be outside, or pretty much anywhere else than my room or anywhere near Grandma, because I can't hurt her anymore. Well, and good news, I've finally started my homework for math. But the bad news is, homework for math means frustration. Added frustration. Also, I have a friend helping me. But, like, he's actually really good at helping me, because he's, like, super smart. And, like, really good at explaining stuff. So it's nice. And I'm also worried about my homework, because, like, once I start traveling, or, like, travel, like, am I gonna be able to, like, do my homework and, like, take the exams? Like, I'm just gonna have to call my school tomorrow and, like, tell them, like, I won't physically be in America to, like, take the exams, so, like, we have to, like, figure some shit out. Like, take the exams virtually or some shit, like, fax them to me. Oh god, that sounds like such a 90s thing to say. But then also at the same time, I kind of, like, don't know if I can go to Honduras, because, like, I'm gonna, like, the whole entire time be worried that my grandma's left. And, like, went to Japan anyways, even though she's saying now that she doesn't want to go to Japan, but, like, periodically she keeps going between them, like, being like, I'm going to Japan, I'm not going to Japan. So, like, I don't know. And that's part of the reason why I wanted her to write it down, because I know, like, it actually really helps to write it down, because, like, I know mentally for me, like, I have a hard time remembering shit too. Like, I have the fucked up memory of, like, everyone, and I'm only 17. And, like, I write shit down and it helps me remember. I read things out loud, it helps me remember. And so I wanted her to, like, say it over a couple times and write it down, because I knew that that would help. Maybe, like, her memory or something, or, like, the connections, even though they're weak now that she has dementia and she's, like, 96, and, or 98, I don't even remember. But, like, she's really old, and I don't, like, blame her. Like, I don't think she's stupid. Like, it's just that, like, in the moment, in my teen angst or whatever, like, when I'm, like, feeling very frustrated and I just say shit that I don't actually mean. And because I don't have the courage to actually say it to her fucking face, like, I say it to a camera, and she overhears anyways, and it just makes it worse. And, like, I shouldn't do that. Like, I don't know what to do with the guilt. Because it's, like, preventing me from doing things and being happy. But I don't want to let it go. Because it's what grounds me. It's what, like... The guilt is also, like, is what cripples me, but it's also, like, what grounds me. Because, like, it makes me feel like I'm not going to turn into something that I don't want to turn into. Because in my mind, I'm, like, gonna sound so fucking cheesy right now, but, like, I feel like I'm a monster. And I feel like I affect everyone around me negatively. And so I have to, like, rein the monster in or whatever. And, like, oh my god, this sounds like a werewolf story. But I feel like I need to rein it in and, like, hide it. And, like, the guilt helps me do that because, like, it helps, like, keep me grounded and, like, not forget, like, every monstrous thing I've ever done. And, like, to not let it out again. And, like, the fear and the guilt, like, keep me grounded. And so, like, I'm afraid of letting go of it because, like, even though it cripples me and it, like, prevents me from being, like, truly happy and, like, carefree and, like, living, I guess, like, it's also, like, what, like, gives me comfort because, like, I don't want to turn into a monster, which is what I think I am, which I know deep down is not true, but, like, every other part of me thinks that it is true, and I'm afraid, so I don't like to do anything. I hella fucking need therapy, bro. Like, oh shit. Like, what the fuck? Who thinks they're a monster? Like, who the fuck thinks they're an actual fucking monster? Like, no one. No one thinks they're a monster except for me. Like, the fuck? What's wrong with me? And, like, I didn't really deal with, like, any verbal abuse against me. Oh, I kind of did with my mom. But, like, it wasn't, like... It was more, like, paranoia with my mom. With verbal abuse, I guess. It was more of, like, obsessive, like, paranoia than, like, I hate you kind of thing. Like, since I'm her only family and she, like, was so desperate to protect me, like, she just was, like, paranoid and, like, feared basically everything from me and, like, felt that I was, like, this precious jewel or something that she needed to protect. And, like, I don't know, like, because she had all these high expectations for me, or still does, actually, like, I just kind of, like, have, like, this high expectation for myself, and because I don't fit that, I feel like I'm not good enough, and I will never be good enough, and, like, I always hurt the people that I'm around, and, yeah, so it's not that she, like, physically was always, like, you're a monster, like, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. It was more of, like, the opposite effect, where, like, she, like, loved me so much and was so paranoid about me and, like, so, like, I don't know, clingy and, like, supportive of me that, like, it kind of, like, made me doubt everything. And I don't know how to explain it. And so, yeah, it wasn't like she put those thoughts into my head. It's more of, like, I put those thoughts into my head. But it was also kind of because of her, but, like, not really, if that makes sense. Like, she didn't, like, first person put that in my mind, but, like, she did things that made me think that way. But, like, unintentionally. And so, like, it's not really her fault, but it is. I don't know. And then, just another example of her paranoia and shit was, like, earlier today she called me and was, like, talking about this, like, stupid TV show like Dr. Phil or some shit, which we all know Dr. Phil's like full of shit. So full of shit. Like the only reality TV shows that I really watch are like Ellen DeGeneres, and she's kind of like a stand-up comedian, so like she's not really like a reality TV show that much. And like YouTubers. Like that's literally all I watch of like reality TV, if you will. And it can't even really be qualified as reality TV. So like I don't give a shit about any of that shit. Like I know it's total bullshit and like I don't care. But my mom does apparently. And like it frustrates me because the media and everything like loves to feed into that paranoia of people and like makes them like fear so that they can gain more views and shit and like more money and like cable and like blah blah blah. It's like all a fucked up media shit. Like it's just bad. And reality TV shows do the same thing, like Dr. Phil and like his whole like teen adolescence and like dealing with all these like outrageous children and like using them as examples of like what not to be and putting this fear into parents being like, don't let your kid be this way if you act this way and blah blah blah. And like he offers like supportive counseling. Like it's all a load of shit. And I fucking hate those kind of shows because they're so fucking manipulative. And my mom apparently does not like realize this, and so she was watching one of those damn fucking doctor shows, and like it was talking about Uber. Of course, the new craze of paranoia in parents is Uber, which I understand their fear. Like they're all like, oh my god, like my child is going in the car with a stranger. Like, oh my god, totally not okay. But they have been okay with taxis for a long fucking while. Also, they let their kids go on planes by themselves sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like because Uber is a new industry, and same with Lyft, like, they're just, like, totally blowing out of proportion, and media and shit is, like, milking it for all it's worth. And I personally think that some of it has ground, like, stuff. Like, if it's in a bad area or if it's a bad country, obviously the Uber is not going to hire, like, the best fucking people. But if it's in, like, a nice suburban area like I am, and if it's in, like, in a good, decent area, like, I highly doubt they're going to be hiring fucking criminals, Mom. Like, you need to calm your ass down. And I didn't explicitly say this to her, but I was kind of like, Mom, I think you're overreacting just a tad. And, like, I think you just need to chill down. And I told her about what I thought about the media and manipulating their viewers and stuff. And she just was totally tuning me out and being like, you're not listening to me. And that brought back flashbacks. And she was all like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that you need to listen to me and my rules right now because I'm telling you that these will keep you safe. And, like, I don't trust this and I don't trust that. And I was just, like, brought back so many memories of being trapped with her. And I was like, oh, hell no, bitch. Like, this ain't happening again. Like, no. And so I was trying to be polite, but I have a lot of sarcasm, and it sometimes just happens, and, like, I couldn't really, like, contain the mm-hms, and she got increasingly more pissed off with me, and I was just like, Mom, I'm telling you, like, can you just trust me and trust the system, and don't listen to the fucking manipulative media. For once. And she was just kind of completely like, I don't give a shit about what you think. I give a shit about what I think and what I think will be good for you. So shut up and listen to me. And I was just kind of like, fine. I will take your rules, Mom. I can do by them or do by them what I won't do them. Whatever. Like, it's just like, I can do them or not do them. Like, she's not giving me a choice. Like, she's telling me, she's demanding me to do her fucking rules, which I already knew. Like, it was just kind of like, double check with the Uber driver that they know it's you. And, like, double check with the picture. Make sure the Uber driver is an Uber driver and blah, 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 blah. And then, like, text people if you're suspicious. But then, of course, texting people when you're suspicious turned into, text me every minute that you're in the fucking car. Because she's that just, like, ridiculous. And I was like, Mom, please. And she was just like, what? And I was like, I can't handle you when you're like this. And I just kind of was like, I love you. I will try to follow by your rules, but I'm just telling you, like, I can't talk to you when you're like this. So, goodbye. And I just ended the call. Because, like, I can't deal with her when she's like that. Like, I just can't. Like, she's on in sad people when she's like that. She's just like, nothing you say will ever register when you're talking to her when she's in that like space. So I just needed to end the call because like there's no way. But I tried to be delicate because if you're not delicate in that kind of situation, it's gonna fucking blow up in your face and you're gonna die. Like, like, ugh, yeah. But yeah, just so difficult working with people. And also dealing with your self-hate, because, like, it's great. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna say goodbye now, because, like, this has gotten depressing enough, hasn't it? Okay, goodbye.